Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Dazzling Dave, and this is your match preview for our team, Wolverhampton Wanderers, away against Leicester City, the Foxes, in the Premier League. So as usual, we've got a jam-packed preview, apart from some really interesting stats and facts and team news, and also my prediction and predicted lineup. We've also got LCFC Boyer giving the Leicester City fans point of view and their score prediction, along with Wolves fans, my dad, Magic Moss, and also Lucy Lightning giving their score predictions and thoughts ahead of this one. So on to the team news. Jonny Evans is expected to return for Leicester after missing 3 games, along with Jamie Vardy and Mendy, who are both rested in midweek in their very impressive win against Braga. Wolves don't appear to have any other fresh injury concerns. Obviously Johnny Otto out long term, but we'll have some decisions to make, especially in the left wing back position between Ait-Nouri and Marçal. Obviously I'll give you my predicted lineup towards the end of this video. In terms of the head-to-head, it's quite impressive reading for Leicester, having only lost one of their last 23 home games against Wolves. In fact, Wolves have not beaten Leicester away in 10 top flight meetings, going all the way back to 1971. Now, many Wolves fans will say how we've not beaten them away. I remember that first game back in the Premier League when we scored, took the lead, and VAR's robbed us of victories. The last 2 games have been 0-0. I do feel that Wolves on occasions have outplayed Leicester, but they just seem to have this little bogey side. But obviously I'm going to give you my prediction towards the end of this and what I think the score is. And of course, as always, I want to hear your score predictions and who you think the goal scorer is going to be. On to some Leicester stats and facts. So Leicester have won 5 out of their opening 7 matches in the Premier League, and currently only 1 point behind Liverpool in second place and on a really fantastic run. However, if they were to lose to Wolves, they would have lost 3 consecutive home games without scoring for the first time since 1983. Their tally of 17 goals so far this season, 17, is only bettered by Tottenham, who have got 18. Leicester also are fantastically well at converting shots. It's their Premier League highest so far this season, 26.2% of their shots finding the back of the net. And Jamie Vardy is on a rich vein of form, scoring 7 times in his last 6 matches, which was as many as he scored in his previous 19. However, Jamie Vardy has failed to score in 11 out of his previous 13 home matches, and in 6 ties against Wolves is still yet to score. Let's hope that stays the same. On to some Wolves stats and facts. So Wolves are currently unbeaten in their last 4 Premier League matches, winning 3 and drawing 1. And Wolves' tally of 13 points in the Premier League is a club record after 7 games. Wolves have also kept a clean sheet in each of their last 9 Premier League victories. And Raul Jimenez has scored half of Wolves' 8 Premier League goals this season. So before I get on to my team selection and also my score prediction, we're going to listen first of all to Leicester City YouTuber LCFC Boyer with his opposition fans' thoughts, along with Wolves fans, Lucy Lightning, and my dad, of course, Magic Moss.
So Dave, cheers for having me on for this opposition preview. So obviously last year between Leicester and Wolves, it was 2 very boring games, 0-0 and 0-0. So hopefully we won't have that again. Hopefully we can have some goals. But in terms of the 2 teams, I'd say we're sort of quite similar in terms of looking to break the top 6 again. Potentially even more for both clubs, because both clubs got very, very strong teams. So for us, it's interesting at the moment though. There's a lot of injuries for us. We've got Ciancio out, we've got Ndidi out, Ricardo Pereira, potentially Jonny Evans, Jamie Vardy, he's a bit of a doubt. He probably will play, but going through a lot of injuries, and also Castagne, our new left back. So we're having to play with sort of a makeshift back 5, which is actually working quite well, but it's not ideal. We're having to play Christian Fuchs as a centre-back and James Justin, the young left-back, as a centre-back. And they're both doing very well. Obviously, you can see with some of our results, beating Man City, beating Arsenal, and then last night beating Braga 4-0, obviously a team a lot of you Wolves fans will know about. So it is working quite well. But despite how well some of the squad players are doing in coming in and filling in those roles, I can't wait to have sort of the main players back. But anyway, in terms of Wolves, obviously you guys have got some huge threats in terms of Jimenez, one of the most underrated strikers in the league. Adama Traore obviously normally comes off the bench and has a huge impact on the game. Neves, Matinho, I could carry on. Your team is absolutely littered with quality. It's going to be a very, very difficult game. And our record at King Power in the Premier League particularly hasn't been great this season. Last night in the Europa League we beat Braga 4-0, but in the Premier League we lost to West Ham 3-0 at the King Power, and then also lost 1-0 to Aston Villa. So it will be a difficult game, but I'm hoping that we can go and get the 3 points. Anyway, I am going for a Leicester 2-1, Vardy to get the double. But anyway, Dave, cheers for having me on for this opposition preview. And as always, it's a shame that we can't meet up like we normally do before the games, but obviously current circumstances, everyone knows why. Anyway, I appreciate you having me on.
Thanks ever so much to LCFC Boyer, and go and check out his channel and his preview on this one from the Leicester side and a bit more in depth. So we're with Lucy Lightning on West Park. Lucy, what is your score prediction for Wolves against Leicester?
I think it's going to be a tight game, but I think it's going to be 1-1, and I think Max Kilman's going to score. I think he's going to get a header.
Max Kilman from a corner?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So there we have it, a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, 1-1. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, hey Dad, how are you today?
I'm fine.
What's that on your shoulder, Dad?
That's Sydney.
Is that your pup? Is that
He's in the lockdown with me?
He's in the in the Is that your puppy, Dad?
Yeah,
He looks a bit asleep to me. Can't see him.
He don't bite.
He don't bite. Okay. Fantastic.
Anyway.
Fantastic. Dad, obviously, first of all, everyone wants to know, how are you keeping? You and Mom okay?
Oh, what?
Are you keeping well?
Yeah, keeping well, Dad.
Everyone likes to know that you're okay. So, Dad,
Very welcome.
moving on to Leicester. Leicester going really well. Second in the table. Won in Europa League this week, 4-1.
Yes. Yes.
What are you thinking? How are you feeling ahead of this one? Are you nervous? Are you scared?
How good we Wolves and we'll beat them anyway, no problem.
We're going to beat them.
Yeah, no problem.
What does Sydney think?
6-0? No, 2-0, I'll say.
So you're going 2-0. What about Sydney?
He agrees with me.
Is that right? He's nodding, but we can't see him. He's off the screen. Oh, there he is.
He agrees with me, Sydney does.
So you're going 2-0 to the Wanderers. Fantastic. Positive as always, Magic Moss. And who are the goal scorers for this one?
Is it Royal?
Royal?
Yeah, Magic Royal.
You mean Raoul?
Yeah, Sebastian, what's your name?
Who? Sebastian. You mean Raul Jimenez, yeah? Not.
Yeah, the Magic Royal.
He is like.
Magic.
To be fair, he is a bit. He is a bit like.
And that new fella, Bonanza. Is it Bonanza? Oh, do you remember that? Do you remember that film? Do you remember that film?
It was a programme, Dad, wasn't it? It was a
Do
cowboy.
you remember the Cowboys?
Yes, Dad.
Bonanza. That was a good. That was good old days. That one.
So you mean
Old days.
you mean Pedence?
Ah, Bonanza.
Not.
Bonanza.
So instead of Royal and Bonanza, you mean Raoul and Pedence.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, Raoul is Wolves royalty, to be fair. So, you know. So you're going 2-0. Raul Jimenez and Daniel Pedence, and Sydney is nodding.
He agrees with it as well.
Sydney doesn't say a lot, though, does he?
Well, he's just woke up, so.
Does he not bark? Does he not bark, Dad?
He does now and again. Woof, woof.
You crap me up, Dad. You're hilarious. Everyone loves you. Everyone loves you. So there you have it. Magic Moss's prediction: 2 to the Wanderers, 2 to the Wolves, 0 to the Foxes.
That's it, David.
And stay safe. And have you got a message for anyone, Dad?
Look after yourselves.
Fantastic. Love you, Dad.
Love you.
Thanks ever so much to Wolves fans, Lucy, and of course my dad, Magic Moss. Do you agree with their thoughts? So on to my predicted team lineup. It's an interesting one, this one. There's a few variations, isn't there, which I'll come on to. But I think obviously it's going to be Rui in goal. Kilman seems to have the shirt now on the left side of defence. Cody and Bolly, who's just been called up for the Ivory Coast. I think he'll stick with Neves, who had a really good game against Crystal Palace alongside Den Donker. On the right hand side, the wing back Semedo is going to be keeping his place. He's very much improved and settling into that role. And then on the left hand side, you've got a real call, haven't you? Marcel, who was out injured, who would have said in the absence of Johnny Otto would be a certain starter, or Ait Norrie. I think the fact that Ait Norrie had such a great debut, scored and looked really good, I think he should probably keep the shirt, and well deserved too. But do you agree with that? Up front again, Daniel Pedence should start, Raul Jimenez of course, and then you've got the dilemma. I've been selecting recently Traore to start, but it seems as if Pedro Neto has just been offered another 5-year contract by Wolves, signed it, and has been called up for the Portugal senior club, will probably get the nod again. Traore coming on late, hopefully to make an impact in the game. So in terms of score prediction, I think we owe Leicester. I absolutely think we are due to be at Leicester, and we owe them one. We've been so unlucky in recent times. They do have a bit of the Indian sign over us, but I am going to go with Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Leicester City 1. I think it's going to be a goal from Raul Jimenez, and also I have a feeling Neves or potentially Bolly might get and score. I know I mentioned my bets there, but yeah, Raul to get 1, and then Neves and potentially maybe Bolly from a corner. I'm going for 2-1. 3-1 would be even better. Make sure that you leave your thoughts, score predictions and goal scorers below, and also hit the bell notifications on, and look out for the live stream watch along, which I will be doing for the Leicester City game. That's always really good. We had a really good laugh and a chat with all the fans that were on the chat in the last game, and hopefully it'll be similar for this one as well. And if Wolves do win, what a start for the season that will have been. And there will be an Always Wolves podcast coming out as well next week. So until the next one, which will be the Leicester City Wolves live stream, I'm Dazzling Dave. Always Wolves.